I was scrolling Instagram one day and I came across a before and after picture of eyebrows, and it literally stops me like dead in my tracks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like a hair transplant. It was literally one eyebrow, a before and an after. And I'm like, what is that? Like, that is super cool. And I went down to the caption, it said it was microblading. I'm like, what the heck is microblading? That is so neat. And I just showed Jordan, I'm like, look how cool this is. And he's like, cool, like awesome.
Yeah, what it was.
And I'm like, I want to get this done. And he's like, okay, how much is it? It's like $700.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Artistry. And this is going to be a special one because...
It's special?
Yes. So some of you guys know we've been in business, well, literally now for 10 years, just over 10 years, which is crazy because our little... well, at the time it was your little nail business was initially Michiana microblading and nails. And then we transitioned and switched into just Michiana microblading when she brought on more permanent makeup and drop nails. And then we moved to Elkhart, and now we are Bowerman Artistry. Yeah.
I forgot that we've changed it
3 times.
3 times, which is always so fun.
Yeah. Imagine the first Instagram handle being Michiana microblading and nails, like trying to get a hold of that.
So long and annoying.
But yeah, off camera, we have our wonderful assistant, Joy, who is going to essentially just we're going to tackle this kind of interview style. It's probably going to be heavy Lindsay a little bit just because it's her baby back from 10 years ago. So it'll be a little bit Q&A, kind of back and forth, probably have some great stories in there, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just going to kind of just roll with it and just go. So Joy, with that, fire away the first question.
How does it feel to officially?
Honestly, it feels super surreal. I think like being a business owner, especially when you first start, like you don't realize all of the ups and downs that are going to occur in your business. You just start a business and you're like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, this is super cool. And there's like lots of hype around it, but people don't see what happens behind the scenes. They don't see the hills and valleys and the highs and the lows and the tears like behind it all. But it's such a beautiful thing and it's so exciting and it's been such a blessing. And I don't say that lightly, like it's honestly been such a blessing to be able to hit 10 years because there's a lot of people that have gone out of business even just this past year that were permanent makeup artists that started a couple of years after I did, and they're no longer in business anymore. And it's heartbreaking. Like my heart breaks for them. And so to be able to hit 10 years, it's honestly just really giving all the credit and glory to the Lord, and blessing our business and blessing our clientele and allowing people to find us to keep this thing going. So
yeah, when we started talking about through the marketing things like a few months ago and like, oh yeah, it's been like 10 years. Like we need to do like a special 10-year thing. I honestly thought it was crazy. I was like, there's no way it's been 10 years. 'Cause I joined you essentially, I think it'll be 8 years here coming up. So, and that feels wrong to me. Like it doesn't feel like that's right either. So for it to be the 10-year mark, it's crazy. It's a huge blessing. Like Lindsay said, it hasn't come without a lot of tears, hasn't come without a lot of just crazy things as far as just ups and downs and challenges and different things like that. So yeah, it's been honestly something though too, where it's like it's a huge blessing to have the clients that we have in the area that we have, and to have, as we sit in this beautiful studio that Lindsay designed, it's just been a huge blessing from God in pushing through all these years with everything.
I probably, if they would have told me exactly what it was going to be, I probably wouldn't have believed them, just because our clientele they've paved the way for our business. Like they have literally opened the doors that we have walked through and that we have wanted to obviously open. Anything that they have wanted and requested, we have done just by what they want and what they need. And that's shifted a lot over time, starting out as permanent makeup and now shifting to more of a medical type spa service and having a doctor over us and, like hiring more medical staff and even non-medical staff. But it's just evolved so much, and it's been really cool to see that change, but also just the trajectory of where we're going is just really exciting.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to see where it was at 10 years ago, because I wasn't in the business 10 years ago. It was just you. And I remember you actually started your own business doing like nails first and then jumping into like the microblading. And like Lindsay said, I think it's literally just been almost like year by year, we almost kind of evaluate and think like, okay, what do our clients want next? And that's just what's kind of slowly pushed Bowerman Artistry into what it is now with estheticians and skincare and, like Lindsay said, a laser. And so it's become so much more than just like permanent makeup, which was the first thing that kind of like initially launched us into like starting our own business. But just like anything else, like as a business owner, I think you almost have to eventually like reevaluate time after time, because it's rare that you like start off as a business and just offer this like one thing and continue to do that one thing. I mean, even 5 years later to now we're at 10 years and it's like we do so many more things than when we first initially started. So you almost have to continually pivot and continually adjust and just see, one, what clients are wanting, but then two, like what the market's doing, to be able to see like, okay, hey, how can we make this even better than what it's been? But yeah, it's literally like nothing I would have imagined. I also wouldn't have imagined being in the position I'm in, doing permanent makeup and working with females for the last 8 years for my journey. Is not what I would have picked at all. But I think everybody knows that pretty much by now.
Yeah. And we just really like to say we either need to grow or we're going to die. And if we don't grow and pivot and change, our business is going to die. So that's kind of where we've always left things at. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is just gratitude, like just gratitude for the business, gratitude for the industry. You know, we're still heavy into permanent makeup, but we're really heavy into other things now. So just gratitude for the journey of the ups and downs. Like even when you're going through a valley and it's really hard. And I mean, we've wanted to quit our business more times than we can count. And I think any entrepreneur can honestly say that, but you don't get anywhere in life by quitting. Side note, we even like talk to our kids, we're like, Bowermans don't quit. Like we don't do that. And so Bowermans don't quit. Like we're not going to quit doing what we're doing because things get hard, or, you know, we recently had a really big hurdle in our business and we're like, we're going to figure this out. Like there's really nothing else to do. There's no plan B. There's no other option, especially since we're both in this together. We don't have a second income because this is all of what that is. And so just gratitude for how the Lord has really answered our prayers. And even like my prayers over time with like you joining me, like going back to that, which we'll probably dive in a little bit here, but that was in and of itself just wild. We have a lot of people ask, Jordan, you're 6'7". Like, how did you get into doing like dainty services, eyeliner and lips? And it's like, and I literally tell people, and I don't care who they are, the Lord, like literally it was God that changed his heart. And like gave him that desire to like be able to maybe have more flexibility or be with our family more and be more present with our kids so that we can homeschool them and just all the things. And so, yeah, I think gratitude sums it up the best way.
Yeah, outside of gratitude, I don't know if I really have. I was like, as you were talking through all of that, I'm like, gratitude outside of gratitude, like what would it be? And it's not a thing all the time, but almost like a sense of like fear, because like you said, like you just have to take action. You have to just like do things almost like anyways, even if it doesn't make sense, even if like you're afraid of what's gonna happen or what's gonna come of doing it. You have to just like still push through and just like do it scared anyways. And a lot of times I think that's where a lot of businesses sometimes fail, is you stop doing the things that make you get outside your comfort zone. And by doing the things that are just comfortable, you're never actually going to grow. Like there's no growth in being comfortable. It's always in the uncomfortableness that you actually start to grow and actually start to see the change in your business. Which is where most people stop, because it's uncomfortable, right? Like one, you don't want to be uncomfortable, but two, you don't want to fail, right? And if you stop looking at failure as failure and you start looking at failure as an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to grow and figure out, okay, I did this, it didn't work, I'm going to do it different next time because I learned from that situation. And if you just continue to recycle that over and over and over again, everything that you do, you'll eventually succeed eventually, right? Like all work works is what Myron Golden says, like, all work works. It's just a matter of what work you're doing to actually make it work the way you think it's going to work, basically.
And it's really just making your turning your setbacks into setups. Like, your setbacks aren't really they're not bad, they're good. Like, a lot of people frame it as like, oh, this is bad, this is a bad thing that's happening. But if you look at it as like a setup for like the next thing, there could be something way better on the other side of whatever that is that you're not doing or that you don't want to do. You've got to push past that. And it's like, we have been able to do that, and we continue to do that. There's been times where I'm like, I'm done with this. This is too much for me. And you're like, no, we're not doing this. We have to continue going. And like, we're so opposite. If you know us, like, we are not the same in any way, shape, or form, which is really just such a huge blessing. The longer we've been married, which we just celebrated 10 years. Let's go. 12 years. What did I say? 10 years. This is 10 years. We just celebrated 12 years. One more time. We're not having technical difficulties anymore.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I was scrolling Instagram one day and I came across a before and after picture of eyebrows, and it literally stops me like dead in my tracks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like a hair transplant. Like, it was literally one eyebrow, a before and an after. And I'm like, what is that? Like, that is super cool. And I went down to the caption, it said it was microblading. I'm like, what the heck is microblading? Like, that is so neat. And I just showed Jordan, I'm like, look how cool this is. And he's like, cool, like, awesome.
No idea what it was.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to get this done. And he's like, okay, how much is it? I'm like, oh, it's like $700. And he's like, what? Like, we were just pretty newly married at the time, and we really had no money. We were like, I had a little bit of college debt from volleyball. And so I'm like, we like wanted to pay that off. So we were living like real poor.
Yeah.
And we had no money. And
Paycheck
like,
to paycheck for sure.
yeah, like $700 on your eyebrows. Like, have you gone mad? Like, there's no way. And I'm like, no, but I really want this done. Like, you don't understand. Like, I just had a baby. Like, I'm so self-conscious and all the things. Long story short, he ended up letting me get it done.
Which we drove with the closest person she could find was like all the way down to Indianapolis, which is like 2.5 hours away from us.
Yeah, with a newborn who, Jordan's a new dad. So like at the time. And so he didn't really know how to take care of a baby. And my appointment was 3 hours long. And I had no idea that my appointment was going to take that long. So got my brows done, came out to a screaming baby. I was so engorged because I was nursing. He like needed to nurse so bad. And so I nursed him. I was like, Jordan, I love my eyebrows. They're so amazing. They're so cool. And he's like, they're really dark. Like, are they going to like not be
super
that dark? They're going to go down. Anyways. But I just told him, I was like, I really want to do this. Like, that girl just made like a lot of money in 3 hours. Like, that's really cool. And I was like, think about all the people that we could help. Like, maybe people that have cancer or they don't have eyebrows at all. Like, this could be a really cool opportunity, and nobody in our area is doing it.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then you got the okay for me to like, okay, hey, when I go back for my touch up, I'm gonna like pick this girl's brain on like everything that where I can train, what I can do, or whatever.
Because when I decide that I want to do something, I like dive head first, and I don't think about how I'm gonna get there.
Lindsay jumps off the plane without the parachute.
Like, I just know I'm going. And like, I just know I'm going to do it. But the road getting there is almost like it's not there for me. Like, I just look at the end goal.
And I just follow you out of the airplane saying, hey, here's your parachute. I have one for me too.
Jordan is my voice of reason.
You need a mixture of both, honestly, by the way. Like, it's great to have both in a business where two people view things very differently and can give different opinions and different outcomes to different things.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like, if you have two people who are really cautious and really hesitant, you're literally never going to grow and change in your business. And so that's why I always say, I drive the bus and Jordan's in the back, like, telling me to slow down sometimes, or like, go this way or go this way. And I'm like, okay, like, we're still going though. And I don't really care how we're going to get there. I just know we're going to. Right. So long story short, I picked the girl's brain. She told me she got trained in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I'm like, we got to go to Salt Lake City, Utah. And he's like, there's like nothing closer. And I'm like, no, there is places closer, and they're in Chicago, but I have no desire to go get trained by a lot of the artists that were doing it in Chicago, because
you didn't like their style.
I didn't like their style. The aesthetic wasn't very nice. It didn't look very natural. I was like, that's what they're going to teach me to do. Like, I'm going to learn like that. And so I want to learn like this. And yes, it's a plane right away, and it's across the country with I think he was 3 months old at the time, and it'll be fine. Like, it's no big deal. Again, we had no money. So for me to get my brows done at $700 was a lot of money. And then for me to pay $4,000 for a 2-day training to learn how to do eyebrows, which I won't even go into that.
That's
but
a whole nother
that's
story.
a whole other story. And then to get 2 plane tickets, get a hotel, have a plane, like a car to drive us around, like car seat, like just, it was a really big investment. And so he was like, you have to promise me that like, you're going to see this through. Like, think about this for a second. Like the trajectory of where this has all gone. He said, you have to promise me though, you're going to see this through, or just do it to at least get our money back. So we're not completely like broke.
This is literally on the plane ride back. We're like flying back from Salt Lake City. And mind you, there's also so many more details in the training. It was a rough training for Lindsay.
I broke down in tears.
In her defense, the trainers, they did a model on the first day. So here's this girl that literally has...
What did I ask for, though?
You asked for the hardest model. So it was like literally not only, okay, hey, you've only been known of like what microblading is for like 3 hours. Okay, now you're going to like take this lady that has 0 eyebrow hair and you're gonna like actually tattoo her. So that was like the 2-day experience. And then so on the plane ride back, having my wife just like distraught and upset over the training. Now on the plane ride back, I'm looking at her and I'm like, okay, hey, like we just spent a lot of money on this training. Like, let's just at least get the $4,000 back. And then if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. Like, that's okay. I'm good with that.
And all these things are going through my head. Like, okay, like I can't just start like tattooing these faces and then all of a sudden pull out because I'm like, I'm done. Like, there's so many things that like came from that training. And
oh yeah,
it was like, when I say it was like day by day, when I first started, it was truly day by day. Like I literally remember calling my mom. I'm really close to my mom. I really remember calling my mom and being like, hey, I'm getting ready to brow map this girl. Not even the permanent part. The permanent part didn't even scare me. It was the brow mapping, because brow mapping is the foundation to good eyebrows. If your brow mapping stinks, the whole thing is going to stink. And so I just was really nervous. And I'm a perfectionist too. So like I wanted the brow mapping perfect. And so I remember calling my mom, can you please pray with me? I'm getting ready to walk in with a client and I'm getting ready to brow map them, blah, blah, blah. And she'd pray with me and then I would do it. And I mean, I was anxious every single client for probably like 4, 5, 6 months. Like for a long time, I'm anxious every time I walked in with a client. And it's like, why do I put myself through this? But it's like, I don't going back to like the Bowermans don't quit. Like I don't give up. Like I just keep going even when it's really hard. I don't see the exit door. I just see a long hallway and I got to keep going until I get to the end.
Yeah. This is also like, keep in mind, this is also, 2016, like Instagram was like kind of still on the newer edge. Like, and it was still photos. There were no videos on Instagram. So like all the things that you see now where it's like you can go to Instagram and like, oh, hey, this is how I brow map, and this is how like the needle I should use, and okay, this is an up close of like an artist doing this, and like all the talking head video, like that was not a thing when she started. So it wasn't like she could just like, oh, hey, let me just hop on Instagram and I'll figure out how to brow map better, or I'll look at a YouTube video and figure it out. Like
there was no education.
Did not exist. And then not only to mention that, but Lindsay was literally the first one to bring it to like, I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb and say probably like northern Indiana.
Yeah. And
like
surrounding.
there was no one probably within at least like a 3-hour drive, 2-hour drive of us. I mean, you go all the way to Chicago, like a 2-hour drive that could actually do this. And if they were, it was probably like literally like tattoo, Sharpie style, like fill in tattoo, not like natural soft microblading. So for you to like say you had anxiety for like 4 to 6, like it's totally understandable because you had no way of like being able to further your education. There were not online courses. Like you could not take an online course at that point, to our knowledge. Like it was very, very basic in how you would learn and like how like quick you would be able to learn it in that time.
Yeah, we always tell our students, you guys are so lucky. You have so many people who have gone before you to figure out what to do and what not to do. I didn't have any of that.
Right.
I learned on my clients. So thank God I never like botched anybody, by the grace of God, literally. But like I learned what works and what doesn't work just by doing case studies on all of my clients over the years.
Yeah, crazy.
What did those very early days look like? Were you renting spaces, figuring things out as you went? What was your beginning?
Yeah, well, humble beginnings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I worked out of how big was that room?
Oh, it was like
feet.
like 200 square feet might be generous. It was like 175.
Yeah.
There was also, sorry, I got to go in. There was also, so we're in like this tiny little closet of a room upstairs above a hair salon studio. So there were stairs. It was like this loft. Go up the stairs, go down the hall, and like there's the room. Has literally like one window in the room, and then so it's like 175 square feet on. And you'd think, oh, empty room. No, that's like probably like 75 square feet of it was like a bathroom. So it had like a toilet and a sink like on one side of the wall. So we had to literally put up this curtain. So really, you're only working with like maybe 100 square feet of actual like room. Yeah. And we put up this massive black curtain. So it was like, hey, there's a sink in here, but there's also a toilet like right on the other side. So that was like, I remember literally like going in and like cleaning up the studio and like making it like look good for you. And like, I remember going out and buying the curtain to like put it up. And I remember thinking like, this is crazy. Like, are we crazy for doing this on like this? I mean, a typical like
it was the
massage table, like bed. It was adjustable. We just didn't know any better.
The best, it's not like we didn't know any better. It's just what was available at the time. And it was a really cheap rent. And so I needed cheap rent to be able to make money. And honestly, like looking back, it was such a gift because a lot of people start from humble beginnings. And if you don't start from humble beginnings, you can't appreciate what you have later on in life. The thing too is though, like none of my clients cared. Like I remember going to my mom one day and being like, I really want something bigger. I want something nicer. I want whatever. I just remember my mom saying like, have any of your clients like complained about the room that you're in? Or I'm like, no, I don't know. None of them have said anything. And that's because they're there for you and what service you're doing for them. And so if you're offering a service and you're maybe not in a very nice location or not in a very nice spot, or you wish you owned your own building, like just remember that where you're at, it's a gift. You're there for a reason and for a purpose and a plan. And also that you don't always have to stay there. You're not always stuck. Right. And just be grateful for what you have because most people don't even have that. And lastly, that people are there for you, for what you can offer them, for how you can transform them or their lives or whatever you are and whatever you do, whatever service you offer, people are there for you and not necessarily like the environment that you're in.
For sure.
So yeah, that was the humble beginnings. And how long was I there for? A couple years?
So you were there for like 2 years because then when I joined you, I remember we had the conversation of like, I don't think I took any lip or eyeliner clients there, but I did a couple brow clients there, which was funny. One of them came back in like a couple months ago and she was like, I think you were the one that initially did my eyebrows. That's right. And I was like
my brain, like what, those, I don't know if I could describe this, like back in the 90s babies, what's up? There's this like circle thing, like a tunnel, like, and it just kept going and going. Like that's where my mind like visually went to when that happened. I was like, it like sucked me back to like 2016. And I'm like, oh, so you're from 2016 and Jordan did your eyebrows?
So
like,
I took a few models there and then basically I think we found out real quick that like, okay, 100 square foot room, like 2 artists, we can't work at the same time, but then we had Grayson, our son, we had him. So it was like, okay, we need to like do babysitting, like we'll flip. And it just was like, okay, this isn't going to work. So then we went basically like looking for buildings. We were really close to closing on one actually over here in Elkhart that we would have stayed in Elkhart. And it just fell through and it was totally just like God's plan the whole time because then
we literally shook hands with
it was a solid handshake.
And he was going to sell us, like not sell us, we were going to lease from him. We literally shook hands.
Yeah. And he was like, he said, it's yours. Like, yeah, we just got to work on the paperwork, whatever. A couple weeks go by, we don't hear from him. And then basically found out he gave it to somebody else and they started leasing it. So
really mad at the time, but now we're like, thank goodness we did not do that because we'd have grown out of it so fast.
Yeah, it was a bigger space, but yeah, I mean, it would have been one, a bigger expense, but then two, like we would have grown out of it super fast. So then we ended up looking, I don't even know how we find Ray. We're looking for like a space studio. I think we drove by it or something. We heard through somebody, I can't remember, but then we found a space. Landlord was awesome. Rent was great. And we were able to really grow into that space, but that space was like a little over 1,100 square feet, 1,200 square feet. So it felt like a mansion to us from the 100 square foot room that we were in. Me and you had a couple of rooms. There were a couple other like treatment rooms that we could do. We had a break room. Like the toilet was outside of the service rooms. It was like so much better then. And then, we were there for like 4 years. And then now we're here over in Elkhart where we have our own building, which is mind boggling.
Yeah. So definitely, like I said, humble beginnings. And now we will be here for a really long time, I hope.
For sure. We're going to divide this podcast up because with all the technical difficulties, everything happening is just kind of how it goes. So that is the conclusion of part 1. Tune in here and we will get jumping on part 2 with more questions, a lot more stories. I'm sure there were a lot more stories in that one than I thought there were going to be, which is awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned and take care.
Bye.